Okay, hi. So I'm Mandu, and I'm going to be showing you how to port mods from PC to Xbox. I have this guide written in the Nexus mods Xbox port tutorial. If you want to read the thing, you can come to this page and read instead of watching this video. Okay, so I have all the requirements right here. Okay, so let's start. First thing to do is buy the Skyrim Special Edition for Steam. And not the Legendary Edition, but just Special Edition. If you want to port mods that are related to Anniversary Edition, you need to buy the full Anniversary package. But if you only want to, if you don't want to do any Creation Club stuff, then Skyrim Special Edition is enough. And once you get Special Edition, one thing to say is that the Game Pass version doesn't work. Okay, so you need to buy one for Steam. Next step is to download this creation kit, which you can do that in this Bethesda.net. And once you go there, and on the bottom of the page, there is Bethesda Launcher. Download this, and I already have it downloaded. And launch this launcher, and you can download the creation kit for Skyrim Special Edition right there. And I'm doing this in 2022 March, and it's been announced that Bethesda is closing down the Bethesda.net. So the creation kit for Fallout 4 and Skyrim Special Edition, I'll just call this SSE from now on. So creation kit will move to Steam in a later date. When that happens, just be sure to not grab the one for LE, grab the one for SSE. Okay, so if you have downloaded the creation kit, you'll want to check where it is. You can do that by going to Steam, right click, and see local files. It's in Korean, I'm sorry about that. And once you do that, it will bring you this page, which has all these files, the Steam apps, Common, Skyrim Special Edition, and there we have the creation kit. Don't run this right now. We're going to download a mod, something that helps us with the creation kit. It's called the SSC Creation Kit Fixes, unloaded by Nukem. This is really essential in using the creation kit since it's just better. Okay, so let's do the preview. We have these 4 files in this, and just click manual download and move these files to here. Like, you see this Skyrim 64 test.ini is right here. The TBB here, here, and here. Yeah, move them here, and you have the fixes installed. To see if it's really installed, just run the creationkit.exe. And if you see this log, then it's installed correctly. And see the CK64 fixes. Yeah. Okay, so we have the creation kit downloaded and have the fixes installed. There are some other files in the fixes, like this one. But if you're only interested in porting, you really don't need this. This is the main file you want. And now let's go directly into porting stuff now. I'm going to be showing you a few examples. And starting off, I'll show you the Obsidian Weathers. Let's see what it has in the contents. It has an esp, bsa, and ini. You don't need to know what they are right now, but anyways, I'll explain in the way. Okay, so I already have it downloaded, the Obsidian Weathers. Ignore this file, this is not needed. It's generated from the mod organizer. So we have 3 files. These 3 file formats will be the final form of any port you make to Xbox: esp, bsa, and ini. Not all of the mods will have ini, but most of them will have esp and bsa, or bsa, I mean. Not all of them have both, but most of them will end up with these 2 formats. So what you want to do is, this is the, where creation kit is. the folder. Go into this data. This data folder is really important. This is where all your mods go. Okay, so, and move this ESP. I'm going to copy and paste it into data. And INI also goes to data. And let's see where it is. Yeah, Obsidian Weathers, ESP and INI inside the data folder. And there won't be an XP1 folder once you first downloaded this creation kit. But once you make any port over to Xbox, you'll have this XP1 folder. And if you don't have one, you just make a new folder and name it XP1, like this. But I don't need it, so I'm not going to do that. Delete. Go to XP1 and move the BSA over here. Okay, so what I did was move these two inside data and this inside the XP1 folder inside data that we just made. And let's go to CK. I have it pinned down here. So why we need CK is because we need it to upload to Bethesda.net. Go to file data, and there we can find the Obsidian Weathers.exp. Double click, set as active file, and then hit OK. And we need to wait for it to load the files. This takes really long when you don't have the CK fixes installed. Okay, so while we wait, this ESP file is something like, it's called Elder Scrolls plugin. It tells the game what you want to change in the game, basically. That INI is some configuration settings. That BSA is a archive, like a zip file that contains all assets that are not vanilla used by this ESP. Okay. So like, if you want to make a new armor, then you'll have the name, stats, location, and stuff. Those will be inside the ESP, and like how it looks, like the model, the textures, what any kind of sounds it makes. If you don't use the vanilla assets, they will be inside this BSA. So now I'm running a really just mediocre laptop, so it takes quite a bit. So if you get this validating forms, you have this Obsidian Weathers.esp pops up, and you need to log in before that. Okay, so you need to make a what was it? You need to create an account in the Bethesda.net and link it to your Steam account in the Skyrim Special Edition game. In the in-game mod menu, you can do that. I already done it like a long time ago, so I don't remember that correctly. Okay, so once you've done that, you click login. I'll do it off screen. And I'm in. So now you hit upload plugin and archive to Bethesda XP1, and this message will pop up saying archive this BSA. It already exists, so use yes, and create a new mod if you want to make new one, or just click something and edit mod to update. I'm just gonna create a new mod. It's gonna be called Obsidian for tutorial. And don't write description in this state. Characters are allowed to 2500, and it's a lot. You can write longer description in the website. Here are some categories, like no one uses them. Okay, so create, and it's gonna upload. Upload completed. I'm gonna close the creation kit now. So we've uploaded, and it says the 2.6 megabyte. They created, they updated. We edit here and add the descriptions, all the categories, patch notes, and if the mod has dependency, you can type the mod name here, but it's really the same as the search function on console, so it's really not good. You'll have to copy and paste the mod description to find the exact mod you want to list as the dependency. Okay, I'll just save now. And if you don't hit publish here, this will remain private. So unless you have permission from the mod author, then you would not want to hit publish, okay? If you have permission, then you will write some short description at least, link the mod page, and post the permissions, like the imgur link or something. And yeah, and then save it yet again. And then hit publish maybe. But there are some occasions where hitting publish doesn't actually make it available on the website. In that case, what you can do is edit the description again, or hit disable comments or enable comments. And that usually corrects any issues with the upload itself, publish itself. But if that doesn't fix the issue, then there is something wrong with the server. Okay, so I'm gonna delete now. I don't need this. Okay, that was our first example, the ESP, BSA, and INI. INI gets automatically picked up by when you upload the thing if it is placed in the data folder. So next one is this. This one doesn't have the BSA or the INI. It only has these loose files with the ESP. In this case, you want to pack these meshes, textures, and sound files into a BSA. And I already have it downloaded right here. Once again, this meta INI is generated by Mo2. So in order to pack these files into BSA, you have to use something called Archive.exe. And you can find it in the Skyrim Special Edition directory. Go to Tools right here, Steam Apps Common SSE Tools, Archive, Archive.exe. I have it pinned right here, so I'm just gonna click this. This is the tool you need, and if you drag these right here now, there's something wrong with the file path. It says mo2 mods blah blah blah. You don't want that. What you need to do is move these files to the data folder. But you really generally don't want to touch your data folder. So what you need to do is create a dummy data folder right here, or fake data folder as people call it, on desktop. Just make a new folder, name it data, and I have some other weird files here. You don't need this. And move these meshes on textures to here. And now you want to use the archive. So you might be confused on which boxes to check. You want to check all these 9 boxes in the left. Like why we check all of them is because, well, it's just convenient to not have to think about what to check or not, and it works. So just check all these 9 of them. And on the right, you only need to check these two. These two are mandatory. not mandatory, but I just check them. And there's this compressed archive function. It's only needed. It makes the file size a lot smaller, but you don't want to use this on some of the files. So what you need to do is just move the meshes and textures. Generally, you only want to compress these meshes, and generally you only need to compress. You only can just hit compress when you only have textures and meshes. Okay, hit compress, edit, check all items, and hit save. You'll want to just have them saved in the XP1 folder, and now you need to copy the name of the ESP to here, and I'm going to name this textures. Put this space dash space capital T textures with capital T and .bsa. You don't need the .bsa part, but anyways, and hit save. You might be confused why I packed meshes and textures in a Textures.bsa, but that is because it works, and that way we can compress both meshes and textures, thereby saving space. And since you never want to compress the sound folder, that is the general practice nowadays in Xbox. Okay, so we have it all done. If it says renaming temporary archive down here, then it's all done. Close it and open again with these checkboxes and move the sound folder. Check this, hit save, and this time just thought is you. Save. Okay, it's done. Close it again, and now here you don't need these BSL files, they're not needed. Just delete them. So we have Textures.bsa with the meshes and textures, Thought is you BSA with the sounds files. And now you want to move the ESP file to data folder again and repeat the process with what we did with the first example. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about. And one thing to keep in mind is that on really rare occasions, some meshes only work in an uncompressed state. So first try porting in the with the compressed option checked. And if you get reports of like invisible meshes, then you want to update it with uncompressed meshes. And there is an option in the creation kit to pack the BSA, but it's really not good. It's bigger in size and leaves out stuff or includes some not unnecessary files, so just use archive. Okay, moving on to the next example. In this case, we have the BSAs and some loose files. In this case, what we do is, okay, I have it right here. So once you downloaded them, you have the BSAs and these loose files. You might wonder what to do. Like, do I need to just port the BSA part, or do I need to include all these loose files as well? Well, the answer is you need to include all of them. So what you need to do is extract the files from the BSA and pack them again in the archive. So the tool needed for this is the Bethesda Archive Extractor. It's called BAE in short. If you download them, these will be the files. I already have it downloaded. So right click, open it with BAE. I already have it set like this, so I just double click and you can see this. Just hit extract and let's just extract it right at the data folder. Wait a minute. when you port them, be sure to delete the previous files. Okay, hit extract, data, extract. Yep. And the textures, also extract to, where is it? Data. Okay, so we have meshes, script, sound, textures. Move these, Control C, Control V. Okay, now with the archive, hit all these 9 of them, and hit 3 for the textures and meshes. Check all items and save, and you'll need to name them same as the ESP for the I'll just copy this maybe, say like this. I'm not going to do that right now, you already know how to do them. Yeah, so meshes and textures in the textures archive, and all others uncompressed in just normal BSA. Okay, so that's how you do it with mods that contain both the BSA and loose files. Use Bethesda Archive Extractor. Okay, so next example will be a one that has only the loose files without the ESP. My example will be the Legacy of the Dragonborn art replacer. I already have it downloaded right here, so we only have textures. But the thing with the Xbox is you always need an ESP. Okay, so what you need to do is, where is it? Okay, Xbox port. In the optional file section, I have a dummy ESP example for porting. You need to download this or make a dummy ESP yourself and rename this to something unique. Okay. And where is my data? Okay, let's just delete these files first. Move the textures here, or any other files in the mod. And there's this dummy ESP I have, the identical one I have in the optional files. I'm going to copy and paste. Where is it? Yeah. Making them have unique names is really important. So I'm going to name this dbm underbar art placer retexture. It really doesn't matter, but anyway. Okay, and Control C, yes. And in the archive, yep, hit check all items, save, and if you only have one BSA, it doesn't matter if you name them just dbm art retexture.bsa or dbm art retexture space / textures with capital T.bsa. And I forgot to mention that the capital T and the space between the space in the left and right of the dash is really important. So yes, I'm going to save it like this, and it's processing, and yes, renaming temporary archive, it's done. Close and delete. Okay, So let's go back to data. You'll see in the XP1 we have a dbm art with Textures.bsa. As I said, you'll need the BSL. It's packed in the BSA, and in the data we have dbm art with texture.esp. As always, open up CK and activate the ESP, login, upload to XP1, and you're done. So these are the 4 most common examples of a mod. And there is the next example will be the ones that have these FOMOD installers. FOMOD installers are for the mod users that use mod organizer or Vortex, any kind of mod manager. I tend to use mod organizer too, and what it is that once you have downloaded and double click to install, it will show you the options you can choose, and it will install any necessary files for the specific options you chose. So in here, I'm not going to use OpenCities and not this. I'll just install this. Most FOMOD installers have some multiple steps, and it's not that different from one I have right now. So I'm just gonna install like this. As for the mod organizer setup, I'm not going to go over that in this video, as there are a lot of other videos on YouTube that has those instructions. So we have the Legacy of the Dragonborn Museum Exterior Fixes mod downloaded. And sorry, my laptop is not really good. With this recording going on, it's really slow now. Okay, right click, Scene Explorer, and we have an ESP and meshes. So since this is not in BSA, you need to move the meshes to data, the fake data folder, and do the same thing with the Archive.exe, and move it. As you can see, it starts with meshes or textures or anything. If you have it in fake data folder, check all items, save, and copy LTD exterior fixes. Renaming temporary archive. Yep. Okay, so do the thing again with the creation kit, and you're good to go. So that was the process with the most common examples, and now we have some more stuff to take care of before porting them, which would be the about the sound files and textures and meshes. So this example is positive undress reactions. In the preview, we have .wave and .lib for the voice files. On Xbox, if you have these separated like this, this will happen.
Yes, for 500 septum, she can be yours.
Okay, so as you can see, this NPC didn't move her mouse when she was talking. That happens when you have these .wave file and .lib file. Okay, so this happens if you don't convert them into .fuse files. Okay, you need to use Yakitori Audio Converter, which is found right here, and go to Files and Download. This I have it downloaded, and here and this icon is not the default one. I have set it to this. Run this, and it has input.wave, output as XWM or fuse, and all these. If I check fuse, there is include lib if exist, have this on, and just drag the files over here. I'm going to show you with the positive undressed reactions, voice. Okay, hit convert. And there we have the fuse. Delete these wave and lib files and just leave only the fuse. And as you can see, the file size gets reduced as well. So for voices, use .fuse. That's all. Delete these wave and lib files and you're good to go. I think you can just drag the folders here as well. So go to voice. Yes, it does that too. Okay. And after converting the folders, maybe you can just hit .wave here and delete the files using this. Okay. So that was with the voices with the wave and lib instead of fuse. And now this part is optional, but is highly recommended. The Sea Dragon has music files, and they are in .wave. Altogether, they are 112 megabytes. And what you can do with them is convert them into .xwm. And once you do that, wait a few seconds maybe? Yes. Instead of 112, you only have 4 megabytes. And I don't think that many people even can't even make out the difference. So just delete the WAV files and pack the BSA with these XWM files. You don't need to edit anything in the ESP. The game will automatically pick up the XWM files. One exception could be where some sound effects mods that cannot be ported in .xwm. They only work in .wave, but I don't think I've come across that many of them. And so I'll just suggest using XWM first, and if you get any reports, then try again with the WAV file format. Okay, so the sound files are done. Sea Dragon, Yakitori. Now, moving on to textures. You might be familiar with mods that have like 1K, 2K, 4K at the end of their mod names on Bethesda. And that is because that 1K, 2K, 4K mean indicate their texture resolutions. And texture resolutions make a lot of difference in file size. And I have this esp+bsa+ini big backpack mod right here. Yeah. So in textures, close, blah blah blah, and yeah, it has 85.3 megabyte normal matte. This one is 4K, others are in some weird resolution now. Yeah, 4096 by 4096. This is the 4K resolution. But on console, not many people are that, what should I say? Not all people want 4K, not even on PC. And what you can do with it is to downscale the texture resolution to 2K or 1K, or even lower, and it will greatly reduce the file size. You use the tool called Octagon, Textures Batch tool, to do that. And yes, download this. I have it installed right here. And this is not the default icon again, so don't worry if you have other icon here. So what you can do is copy this. Oh wait, on my port tutorial page I have a Octagon configuration files, these 3 files. One is for the 1K config, 2K config, and this one I'll explain later. Download this and move them to where your Octagon is installed, right here, where the Octagon.exe is, configs here. And go to File, open Configuration, and I'm going to open 2K, 1K or something. Yeah. And it will have the diffuse textures, 2K, normal maps, and 1K. That's what this configuration does. So copy this texture file path, copy it here, and let's see, since this is a normal map that ends with underbar n, it will be converted to 1K texture after this is done. Okay. So now the 80 megabyte became 5.33, which is not usual for 1K texture. 1K texture usually has 1.33 megabyte as its file size, and what this means is that this texture is in an uncompressed format. You don't need to know about that, but anyways, there are lots of compression formats for textures. You can check them using a program called View or Compressinator. I use Compressinator. So let's check. If it says ARGB in here or unknown, it means that the compression format is, it means the texture is not compressed. In that case, what you can do is open up the configuration to the BC7 folder one I made, BC7 unorm, and run it. Now it says it's reduced to 1.33. Now let's check it again. Yeah, it's in BC7 format now. You might wonder what BC7 is and what uncompressed means. You really don't have to know. All you need to know is that BC7 is the best format for compression right now, and you don't want to compress textures that are already compressed. Like most textures will be in like BC1, BC3, or even BC7, and in that case, you don't want to convert it again to BC7 or anything else. Just leave them as is. And if it is in uncompressed format, like the ARGB 8888, was it? Yeah. If it is uncompressed, then you want to convert it to BC7 or BC1. If you're unsure, just go BC7. But if you have some experience in this, I'm sure you'll find some better configurations. Like, I don't know, I just use BC7 most of the time. If you're done, Control C and Control V. Yeah. So that was how to use the Octagon. And now, this is really our last part. It's about the meshes, and if you have experience in playing Skyrim modded on Xbox, you might be familiar with stuff like these. These are called the editor markers, also known as the color patches, and they're quite common on PC, but they're not visible on PC. They're not visible on PC, but they are visible on Xbox. So example for this will be NAT. You need to remove them or hide them before porting. Right here, I'm going to extract the BSA. And on meshes, there are lots of them. So what you want to do is download this script for xEdit. You might be wondering what xEdit is. It's the same as SSCEdit, and this is really essential tool for modding for Skyrim or any Bethesda game. So have download this and move the scripts to where you put all the xEdit scripts. It has all the instructions here. So I'm going to just let's go SSCEdit and yeah, donate to them. Close. Select none. Go activate NAT. Okay. So what the script does is it automatically removes or hides the editor markers of the meshes, but it's been known that sometimes it causes instant crash for some players. Not some players, for some mods. So what you want to do is find those meshes using this script and okay, wait a minute. I forgot to make a backup. Backup and Control C, Control V. Okay, so now that it's done, right click on the ESP, click Apply Script, and on top there is this hide or remove marker script. Okay. Okay, so something went wrong because I forgot to remove my other mods in the mod manager. So anyway, you can see that the meshes that have these editor markers have these message pop up, and these are not NAT files. They're something for something else. This happens because the script runs for the entire data folder, so you don't want to have any other mod files in the data. Okay, just close it. It was just for a demonstration, so I'm not going to go wait. And let's see here. Yeah, sorry about that. I had some trouble with my PC. So, yep. Anyways, now we have. I'll just show you how to remove them manually. If you go to the find the NIF that has the edited markers, and download a nifskope, a tool for this. The nifskope is you can download it in here, assets, nifskope, something, blah blah blah. And yeah, open it up with nifskope and open this. You'll see editor marker right here. Right click, block, remove branch. Branch is removed, and now hit save. That's all. And do this to all these meshes that had the editor markers, and then pick the BSA like we always did. And that is all. So, yeah, that's all I can make about. That's what all I know about porting to Xbox. And hope you have fun porting. And yeah, just get the permission from the authors, and then you're all good. Or just don't publish it. Thanks.